Cool.
Hi, Mike. I'm Candy from Candy Palooza. It's nice to meet you. I'm very excited about your product. Um, I'll let you say hi.
How's it going? Good.
Sorry. Well, let's just jump right into it, right? So, I was not able to find Liquid Death in my immediate area. We just moved from Louisiana to Arizona, and I was like, "Ooh, I might be able to find it in Arizona," but it's not anywhere close to where I am. So, I'm gonna have to order some for sure.
Yeah, we'll get you some.
But yeah, so tell me about the process. You talk a little bit about it during the episode in Ramen Profitable. Tell us a little bit about the product itself.
So Liquid Death is, it's mountain spring water that we put in tall boy aluminum cans that look more like beer than they look like bottled water. And the whole kind of point of that is that, you know, typically it's unhealthy things like junk food and alcohol and soda and energy drinks that have all the coolest branding and packaging, and all of their marketing is around like fun refreshment and partying. Whereas like healthy things like water and other things are not branded that way. They're very do the responsible thing, like they're quiet. It's not about, but we think that's kind of crazy because how many people at a music festival or a party are drinking water and should be drinking more water. But
Exactly.
it's like the category is not branding or marketing itself in a way for that occasion. Only the unhealthy stuff is. So we thought there was a huge opportunity to basically just take the healthiest thing you can drink, which is water, and brand it, market it, package it in a way where it's actually fun to walk around with in social places. And, we've got countless parents who post on social saying, Liquid Death finally got my 8-year-old to be excited about drinking water instead of soda because
Wow.
they think it's cool to have the thing, So,
Exactly.
you know, psychology is a huge, I mean, I forget what the data is, but it's something like 98% of our decisions are emotional, not rational,
100%.
and
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
a
that's
real thing.
one of the things that I really like. You just gravitate towards the can, and it's like, that's a cool looking can. It
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of like the energy drinks and stuff like that. So, and I think to myself, as a military spouse, a lot of, young soldiers, you see them with those energy drinks, and I'm like, man, like they need to get some at these installations because, it's just the packaging is amazing and it's just, you just look cool drinking it.
Yeah. And we actually, a buddy of ours, he was a captain in the Marines, and
Mhm.
he really wanted to get this into the military to his guys because you know he's like look, he's like, the military is ground zero for alpha males, and like
Absolutely.
these guys want cool stuff, and he's like, I kind of don't want my guys getting all hopped up on energy drinks constantly. Like I wish they would drink more water,
Right.
but they're not. So he's like, I would like they would be all about this. And like he really tried to like push us to like, dude, you guys definitely need to get into the military channel. And
Yeah,
we're
it would
just
be
kind of
amazing.
starting to do that now. But yeah, I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, come do a pop-up at Fort Huachuca.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Love
So
to, yeah.
tell me a little bit about how you got, together with Ramen Profitable and, 1 Million Stories. Because I mean, it's a brilliant. I know you mentioned during the episode that you're, marketing, but it's in your background, obviously. And I mean, this was a genius connection, I think.
Yeah, I honestly, I think one of our like lifestyle marketing guys, I don't know if he knew somebody there or somehow there was some connection there, and he kind of forwarded them to us like, hey, these guys are cool and they're interested in maybe doing something about, Liquid Death. And, we just kind of started the conversation. And I think that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that was. I think it's great, and it's long enough. It's short and long, but it's not too long, so it keeps your attention. And all you share a lot of really good information. And I actually went on the website and I saw the merch. Like seriously, the merch is super cute. What was your thought process behind? You know, I don't. I'm like I don't even want to say because I just love it. The little stuffies and stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, not many beverage companies like think about merch and apparel as like a key part of their business.
Right.
And because it's kind of like it is a whole separate thing. Like if you really want to sell a ton of apparel, like you kind of have to take it as seriously as an apparel company would. Whereas typically what brands do is they use merch as just, oh, just throw our logo on it and they give it away. It's like the shirt somebody wears when they're painting their house or they go to sleep. It's not like what they wear out on Friday night.
Right. It's cool. It's
But I
super
think we
cool.
approach it more like the way a band does. Like a band, yes, their primary product is music,
Mhm.
but they still make a lot of money off t-shirts, and it creates that fan connection to the band, because when people really like stuff, they like broadcasting what they like if it's
Absolutely.
cool. So yeah, we market a lot like a band, and we want, apparel to be, it can be a huge part of our business and really help. It's kind of marketing too. It's like people like to wear it. How many people walk around in a Liquid Death shirt and someone's like, Liquid Death, what's that? And they start
Uh-huh.
talking about the brand. Yeah.
Exactly. Is that a band? No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
water.
Water, right. Yeah.
Like, wait, what? And so
Yeah.
you also have the seltzer water out now, right? Right?
Yeah. Drinking one right now. Yeah.
Cool beans. Yeah, that's exciting. Um, yeah, I'm like, I can't wait to get my hands on some. So tell me, when you first started, how large was your team and because you've been in business a little over a year now, or has it been longer?
No, we've been selling product for 2.5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. We started selling our first cases basically the beginning of February in 2019.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we were a super small team then. Like we were only 2 or 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're up to about 75 people.
That's fantastic.
And yeah, it's been, we just saw a recent stat that since 2019, there have been 231 new water brands who have
Wow.
launched. And that's like still sparkling flavored CBD. And as of right now, Liquid Death is the #1 in retail sales of all those that have launched since 2019, which is
Congratulations.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, it has to also do in part with the marketing style. It's brilliant. It really was a brilliant way to, put out this new product. And like I said, it just looks really, really cool. So tell me, have you had any issues in terms of, once the pandemic hit? Have you seen any? Obviously, you're still #1, um, but has there been any kind of, anything in regards to the pandemic?
No, and it was kind of, I mean, we were lucky that it was the opposite for us, where the pandemic really hit a lot of brands hard.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, any brand that had a strong direct to consumer business did better, because when people weren't going into stores, they were ordering stuff to their house. So
Absolutely.
luckily, we started as a direct to consumer brand and built that business before we went to retail. So we already had a great D2C business. So that really helped us. But even in retail, we really weren't in retail in any significant way at all until literally the week quarantine started, because that's when we launched officially in Whole Foods nationally, and they were our first retailer.
Nice.
Um, but we still just kept seeing insane growth in Whole Foods even during the pandemic. And I think it helped us prove the point that people have a better sense of humor than most executive people give them credit for. Like everyone thought, oh, Liquid Death, like people are gonna like be offended and protest in the parking lot of Whole Foods because there's so, and it's like, even during a pandemic where there's actually people dying everywhere and our brand's called Liquid Death, people still got that it was funny, and they were gravitating towards it, because when everything is doom and destruction, people gravitate towards humor. Like they don't want to be bummed out all the time. Like I think the fact that we were a funny brand actually helped us during the pandemic, because people would post in social something funny because they don't want to post another depressing thing. And yeah, I think the pandemic for a brand like us, like it actually helped us.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, you mentioned you're in Whole Foods, and in the episode, you mentioned like Safeway. When will the shift from like California-based businesses when is it going to be able to, well, obviously with Amazon, you're shipping
Yeah.
nationwide. But when will I be able to see it in Arizona, in the
Yeah,
grocery
so
store?
it is in Arizona.
Oh,
So
is it?
we're
How do you
available
see it?
nationally in 7-Eleven. So any
Okay.
7-Eleven in your area should have it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, we're available nationally in Whole Foods. So any Whole Foods in your area should have it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we're just kind of continuing to roll out like regional grocery stores, like, Albertson Safeway. It's like they have all these different regions. So they kind of start rolling out region by region. And then once we get into like spring next year, it should be a way huger national footprint from like a big chain store perspective.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So do you see, you mentioned CBD, do you see Liquid Death heading into, now that you have the seltzer water, do you see Liquid Death going in that direction where you're adding more variety, or you want to just kind of stick with the two?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking into a couple different ways to, you know, experiment with some new SKUs and things like that. Like we've talked about flavors and,
Mhm.
what is, maybe we do some flavored sparkling in a cool way. And, we might, feeling pretty good about that direction. Um, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, the whole brand is all about health.
Right.
It's like, how do you make something super healthy, way more fun and cool and irreverent than healthy things typically are. So it's
Right.
like I don't think we'd ever go into energy drinks, because it's
Mhm.
like it's there's already that, and like
Right.
I don't think we would never do like hard seltzer or alcohol because that's not healthy really, and like there's enough of that. Like we would kind of always focus on healthy products and how do we make them cooler.
Right. And one of the things that I also admire about the company is that you give 10% of sales. Is it 10%
Well,
for
it's 10% of the profits
profit?
that we generate
Mhm.
from sales. We donate to a nonprofit called Five Gyres
Okay.
and Thirst Project, which actually brings clean drinking water to people who need it.
Nice.
And a new one we started working with is called Pangea Seed, where they use art and these crazy murals all over the world to kind of like educate people about plastic and preserving the ocean and all that. So pretty cool.
Well, I appreciate that because that's one of the things is, promoting environmental causes and, making people aware of, like, hey, if this is a good idea, you need to back companies that that support, our environment and stuff like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does your family think? And I know, you mentioned during the episode, like, your background and stuff like that. So now that you're on your own, successful, what did your family think coming in? Like, "Oh, okay, let's go. Sure."
Yeah, I think everybody, including my family, all has the same reaction at first. Like when you're like, hey, I want to make a water company called Liquid Death and I want to put it in a tall boy beer can. People are just like, are you sure you want to do that? But I think every step of the way, it just kind of proves that it works. And then people just, they flip pretty quickly. We're now, even my family who was like so skeptical at first, now they're like the biggest fans of it and they tell all their friends about it and they serve it at all their,
Oh,
when they
that's
have
awesome.
friends over and all that. So yeah, I mean, they're super excited about it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been going really well. And I think the thing that they appreciate most about it is like the brand is kind of unequivocally me, and it's like, I think that's an advice I give a lot of, you know, entrepreneurs is like, you have to make it like, it's so hard to make it in a category because there's so much competition that like your only real chance is you have to make something that you understand and know more about and care more about than anybody else does. So when we build a brand, like it makes so much sense to build a brand around what is your unique passion, love, like what do you care more about? What do you know more about? What are you more connected to the world of? And then figure out how to make that into a product. And you're going to be way better off than just like, oh, well, I heard that thing makes a lot of money, so I'm going to try to do that thing, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was fantastic. Gave me goosebumps. So thank you. And I'm really happy that I got to speak with you this morning, Mike. I wish you all the success. I can't wait to get my hands on some Liquid Death, and I'll be sharing it with my audience as well. So thank you so much for speaking with me this morning.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you, Candy. Appreciate it.
Hmm.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.